Hello everybody, we are back with another video.
Yeah.
I am here with my best friend Jessica. Today I'm going to teach you how to do Dutch braids on shorter hair. And just on any hair length, it doesn't matter. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to brush it out, obviously, because if you don't, then it's going to get bumpy and knotted up and just not very good. And it's also best to Dutch braid it if it's dirty or if it's wet, because that way it has texture. Otherwise it'll just slip out of your fingers.
Yeah.
So then what you're going to do is, if you're going to do this with hair, it's best to section it into two parts so that way it's not in the way of the other hair. So I'm going to put this part of the hair away into just a little pigtail on the side, and then we'll get started on the Dutch braid. Dutch braids are pretty simple, but this is how you should know how to do it. They're not that hard, but they can be if you don't do it the right way. So what we're gonna do is, the first thing you want to do is you want to start at the top of the head, like the crown of the head or whatever. I might be wrong where the crown is, but the top of the head. And you top up here, you take the pieces from the top and you start braiding, and you grab each piece and you just grab it like that, and then you kind of just keep going. And then what you'll do is you'll grab some pieces from the side, and you just continue, and then that's when you start to add hair in. You add hair in pretty simple. So each time you need to add in hair at least a few times within the process of Dutch braiding. So you'll need to make sure that it's all evened out and not like all messy. Like up here, what I messed up on was the top, because I went to the top and I grabbed too small of a piece, and that was my mistake. But what you want to try to do is make sure that the hair is equally grabbed, so that way the hair doesn't get messed up, and that way it doesn't slip between your fingers. So then after you start braiding, you're going to start to add hair in. So then you're going to start adding hair from the side. Do not get too excited to do it and grab the wrong hairs from the side. It will be lopsided and it will not look good. So you just need to gradually do it. It takes time to do it for the first time when you braid. It's not going to be a quick process. It's a learning experience for when you start to braid hair. You need to make sure that all of the hair is in it and in the right places when you do it. So then you just continue to add hair in to the Dutch braid. And the Dutch braid does not have to be like perfect. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter as long as hair is added into the braid. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then after you get to this point of the braid, like right there, you're gonna grab the hair underneath and make sure you get all the pieces. Don't let anything slip up and mess up. So then you're just gonna add hair and just kind of tie it, braid the bottom. And some people don't always braid the bottom, and you don't have to braid the bottom. You could just braid the top and then just leave the rest in like a ponytail or something if you want. But this is how you're supposed to do it.
Right here.
And then we're going to do the other side in a second. So this is what it looks like right now. This is what the first braid looks like, and it's super cute. Now we're going to move on to this side of the head. So you're going to take out the pigtail from there. And then you're going to brush the top. And like I said, even though you're excited to get the braid that you want, do not be overly excited and just grab hair and grab hair. You need to make sure all of the hair is in the right spot. Otherwise, it's going to mess up and it's not going to look good. And you want it to look like a Dutch braid. So if you want it to look like a Dutch braid, you have to do the process of a Dutch braid. So then you're going to take the top part of the head, like I'm doing it right now. Pretty much the same concept. And make sure that there's equal amount of hair when you do this. So that way it's not messed up. And then you're going to take this side of it. And make sure you grab all of the hair onto the side of the head. Otherwise it's just going to... Jessica, she had a little fuzz in her hair right there. That's funny. A little pink fuzz.
Pink.
That's funny, yeah. And then you're going to add all of that at the top. And if you see that little braid up there, that's what it's supposed to look like. A Dutch braid is supposed to look pretty... They're not that hard. If you know how to braid normally, it's not much different as a normal braid. But you just add hair in. That's the only difference that you have. So just kind of keep adding hair in, and it's not supposed to be like the most perfect. It's just supposed to just look like a Dutch braid. And even if it's a little bit bumpy, it's not that big of a deal. But if there's like huge bumps in it, then that's a problem. Because if there's huge bumps in the braid, then that means it's not good. Like here. And if you mess up in the middle of the braid, that's okay. You don't need to undo the whole entire braid. You just need to undo that part that got messed up. So when you do it, make sure you grab the hair. The reason why mine kind of got messed up was because I grabbed too big of a piece of hair and it got bumpy and it didn't look good. So if you're going to do it, make sure that it's tucked in between your fingers and just tighten it like with your hand. And then just kind of keep going. Right here. And just kind of... But it's not going to be perfect, but you don't want it bumped. And if it is bumped, and find where the bump is and just unbraid the top or wherever it's at. But don't redo the whole entire braid if you don't have to. That's not necessary. Right here. So then you're going to keep going until you get to the end.
Bang.
And then when you get to the end of it, this is what the braid looks like on this side of the head. And it looks really cute. I think it turned out really well. And you can do this with any type of hair, really. But if the person's hair is super curly or layered, then it could be a little bit harder. But that's why, if it's layered like Jessica's is, it's best to do it when it's dirty or when it's wet, because that way it's not, that way it has texture in it. And if it's curly, just maybe like use some water to get rid of the bumps. And so this is what Jessica's hair looks like. This is what the Dutch braids are supposed to look like on the head. They're supposed to look like that.
Of Jessica's.
And then you get to the other side, and it's supposed to look like that. So that's pretty much how you're supposed to Dutch braid. Make sure that you like and comment on our video. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.